Hey again! It's been a while. The past 3 weeks of my life have been pretty busy. You know, I had wisdom teeth removal, I went on vacation, but that's all done now. I'm here! And today I'm going to be sharing with you books that I have accumulated over the past 6 months. There's a lot of them. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get right into it because there's a lot of books here and I've been meaning to film this video for a very long time because my shelves are overflowing with new books. So the first book I have here is Now I Rise by Kiersten White. This is the sequel to And I Darken. I don't know much about the series. I know that it's a Vlad the Impaler retelling, except if he was a girl, and so I think that's the protagonist in this series. I've heard fantastic things about it. Pretty much everyone on BookTube loves this series. I've been meaning to get around to it. I hauled And I Darken, I want to say like a year ago now, so I need to get on that, but I am very excited to dive into this series. I think it just recently wrapped up too, so I can binge read it now, which is pretty sick. The next book I have here is The Wicked King by Holly Black. This is the sequel to The Cruel Prince. This came out at the very beginning of 2019, so this tells you how long I've been waiting to do this haul. I don't know much about the series. I know that it takes place in Fairy, and I love Fairy. See my love for the dark artifices. Yeah, don't know much about the series, kind of want to keep it that way. Again, this is another series that a lot of people love here on BookTube, so I'm pretty excited to dive into it. The third book I believe is coming out next year, I think. I don't know how many books are in this series. I don't know if it's like a trilogy, but I know that there is one more book coming out. The next book I have here is Two Can Keep a Secret by Karen M. McManus. She wrote One of Us is Lying, which is like a Breakfast Club murder mystery retelling. This one's about this small town. Years ago there was a murder where someone killed the homecoming queen, and then years later the same thing happened and this killer claims to be back in town. I actually haven't heard much about this book. I know that One of Us is Lying received a lot of mixed reviews. I have yet to read that one still, but you know, I think it'd be a fun mystery to read. And I really love the UK covers because they have like the sprayed edges. They look prettier than the US ones, I think. The next book I have here is Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. I have a whole review on this book. That's one of my longer videos. But you know, this book is massive, so I enjoyed my time in this book and I have not been able to recover from reading it. The next book I have here is Fame, Fate, and the First Kiss by Casey West. This book is about a girl who becomes an actress and it's all she's ever wanted, except it's not. You know, Casey West books, I either love or don't love them. This one sounds right up my alley, so here's hoping I'll really enjoy it. But I tend to give her stuff like kind of middle of the road, like 2 to 3 stars. Hopefully I'll like this one more. The next book I have here is Suspicious Minds by Gwenda Bond. This is a Stranger Things prequel novel. I believe it follows Eleven's mother. I don't know much about it. I want to keep it that way. I always go into Stranger Things not knowing anything except the characters. I'm still not emotionally fully recovered from season 3, so I may need to pick this up soon. The next book I have here is On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. I believe this book is about an up-and-coming rapper, and I believe it takes place like within the same area as The Hate U Give. I may be wrong on that. I really enjoyed The Hate U Give. I'm excited to see Bree's story in here. The next book I have here is Everything All at Once by Katrina Leno. This is about a girl who receives instructions from her aunt's will about basically to come out of her shell and experience life and take the jump and stuff. Katrina Leno's books have been growing increasingly popular on BookTube recently. I believe she wrote Summer of Salt, which has been receiving all sorts of buzz lately. I think this will be a fun contemporary with probably some sad undertones. Every good contemporary has sad undertones. The next 2 books I have kind of go together, and they are Every Heart a Doorway and Down Among the Sticks and Bones, both by Shannon McGuire. I feel like everyone and their mother has read this series. They are portal fantasy novellas, and everyone loves them on BookTube, and I'm like the only person who hasn't read them yet. Here's hoping I'll read them soon because I gotta get my Goodreads challenge up. They're pretty short, so here's hoping. Another very popular book here on BookTube, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I actually read this book a couple months ago now, and I was surprised at how much I liked it, but I didn't love it like most people in booktube. I'm going to talk more about it in a future wrap-up coming your way. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun reading it. The next book I have here is The Mermaid's Voice Returns in this one by Amanda Lovelace. This is the third book in her poetry series collection. I read the first one a couple years ago now, and I really enjoyed it. I have yet to read the second one, and then this one came out this past spring. The next book I have here is The Anatomical Shape of a Heart by Jen Bennett. This is Jen Bennett's first novel. I think a while ago I said it was Alex Approximately, and I was wrong. This follows a girl who's an artist, and the UPS truck is outside. This is about a girl who's an artist, and she's working really hard on trying to get this scholarship from a museum, all while she meets a boy. Young adult contemporary novel things. It sounds cute. I have yet to read a Jen Bennett book. I'm really hoping that I get to Alex Approximately soon. Next I have The Other Side, which is a Stranger Things comic. Once again, I should probably read this soon, as I am still not emotionally stable after watching season 3. This, I believe, tells the story of what actually happened to Will in season 1 as he's in the Upside Down. The show doesn't really show us his story during that first season, and so this is what really happened. Next, I have Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu's The Red Scrolls of Magic. This is Cassandra Clare's more adult series in the Shadowhunter Chronicles. It follows Magnus and Alec, and I believe it takes place after the Dark Artifices, but I'm not entirely sure on that. Don't quote me. I have not read it yet. I need to read it soon. It's actually not very big for a Cassandra Clare novel. I need to get to this because I miss my babies. Though, you know, let's be honest, Julian's gonna make like one cameo in it. Next I have Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book I actually just recently finished. I didn't like it as much as everyone else does, but nonetheless, it was a pretty fun read. I enjoyed the audiobook, and I adore this cover. It's really pretty. This follows this band called The Six, and it kind of tells their story from how they came together as a band to their eventual breakup and how that exactly played out, because no one knows why or how they broke up, and this tells all. The next book I have here is The Opposite of Always by Justin A. Reynolds. I believe this is kind of like a Groundhog Day retelling, in which case the main character keeps like going back to like the beginning of his relationship, and then it keeps going until the end. This has been receiving a lot of buzz lately. It's been getting really great reviews. I'm really excited to read it. The concept just sounds so interesting in my opinion. These next two books are the same book, but they have different covers. Finale by Stephanie Garber. This series is one of my favorite trilogies in recent years. I've read all of them except now this one. This is the US cover, this is the gorgeous UK cover. I'm excited to delve into this one. I'm kind of sad because I'm gonna leave this beautiful world of Caraval. I'm really excited to see what happens because Legendary was really good, and Caraval was one of my favorite books of 2017. I own so many copies of this series, it's kind of crazy. Well, I own 2, but still, that's like 6 books. I own like more copies of Lord of Shadows, so it's fine. The next book I have here is one that I'm actually really excited about, and that is Again But Better by Christine Riccio. Christine is a fellow booktuber, as I'm sure you guys know. This is her debut novel. It's been absolutely fascinating to watch her document her writing process from when she started writing it until its release, and I'm really excited for it. I don't know much about it. I know that it follows this girl during her semester abroad in London. It sounds very cute. The premise sounds very cute, and I'm very excited to read it. I'm gonna be completely honest. The next book I have here is What I Like About Me by Jenna Guillerme. Sorry if I mispronounced that. This is about a girl who suddenly decides to spend her summer entering in a beauty pageant, which, you know, sounds like fun. I really like this cover too. It's pretty cute. I'm a sucker for pretty covers. See all the copies of Lord of Shadows I own. And finally, the very last book I have to haul here is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. It's a classic book, you probably have heard of it. There's an adaptation coming out, I think this December, and I'm really excited for it. I really love this edition. The cover is really pretty, but for me the coolest part about it is that it has a foreword written by Georgia Nicholson, aka Louise Renison. The Georgia Nicholson series is one of my favorites. You know, I just had to buy this copy because it's my girl Georgia. But yeah, I actually have yet to read this book, but I'm going to read it before that adaptation comes out. That's gonna happen. These are all Well, these aren't all the books I've hauled. These are only a sample of them because I do not have the upper body strength to hold all of them. These are already tearing out my arm. That is it for this book haul. If you like it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post videos on Thursdays, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye! I didn't drop them, and I'm carrying probably the longest book in the world right here. Woo!